comparing and ordering whole numbers. So let's look at two numbers. We have this number right here, which is 7,052,100,900. And then we have this other number over here, 7,052,700,900. We are going to compare them. And so your first set of notes on the teacher side is to write what the word compare actually means. When you compare two things, you're looking at how they are the same. So you're looking for similarities. So we are going to go back and look at these two numbers and try to figure out where they're the same. When something becomes different, that's how we can start actually seeing which number is greater than or less than. So we're going to take those two numbers and we're going to put them on a place value chart. Place value chart is super helpful in comparing numbers because it lines our numbers up for us. So I'm just rewriting those two numbers. You don't have to write this, you just need to watch me. Okay. Now, when we are comparing, we need to compare from left to right. Just like we say our numbers, we're going to compare left to right, even though our numbers build right to left. So you do want to add that to your notes as well. Let's look back at these numbers. Right now, I look in the billions place, and they both have a 7, so they're both 7 billion. Look in the millions place, they have no, in the 100 millions place, they have no 100 millions. They both have 50 million. They both have 2 million. And then look right here. Something happens in the hundred thousands place. They're no longer the same. And right there, I don't even have to look at the rest of the numbers. I automatically know that this one is the larger one. Okay? So we're going to go back to this, and now I can say, based on the information from this one, the one that was the second number is actually the larger one. So I use the less than sign in this particular comparison because 7,052,100,900 is less than 7,052,700,900. The less than sign and the greater than sign are very confusing for some of us. The greater than sign actually is the one that faces this direction. I want you to try to get away from the alligator eats the big number or Pac-Man eats the big number. Try to remember, see how the letter G goes this way? So does the greater than sign. So that's the greater than sign. The less than sign is the opposite direction. It goes that direction. It's just kind of like a capital L. If you look at a capital L, do you see how they both open that direction? So you can remember that's less than. And of course you have your equal sign. So those are the three symbols you need to know in order to compare numbers, like we just did with this number right here. Well, now let's take it a step farther and let's add another number in the mix. I now want to order these numbers. When you order numbers, you are putting them, whether it be from least to greatest or greatest least, you still have to do the comparison stage. So let's add this number to our place value chart. I'm going to have to remember what that one was real quick. I think I did it like this. Let me look at it real quick. I can go from right to left and I see that they're all the same, but it's best to compare from left to right. So I'm looking now and I see this one has a 7 billion as well. Here's my difference. Already I see where I'm going to be able to compare at, and I see that this one's even larger than that one. So this one would be my smallest, larger, and this would be my largest. So when I go to write that, I could write 7,052,100,900 is less than 7,052,700,900, which is less than 7,152,100,900. So by doing my comparing, I can do my ordering. So I'm going to create another page like this. I mean, a new page here. So when you order numbers, you're putting them in sequence. The two sequences we talk about are least to greatest. And these are notes you need to write, or greatest to least. We use the comparison process, and a place value chart is very helpful, like I said, to put these numbers in these orders. So let's recap. We can compare numbers with the greater than, the less than sign, or the equal sign. We can compare them. And using those comparisons, we can then put them in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. And we can have a bunch of numbers to do this with. If you think about the populations in the United States, why would it be valuable for people to know which one's greater than or less than? That's how we get our top 10 populated cities in the country. Even our countries, we know that China is one of the highest population countries in the world, and we do that by comparing our population in the United States to the population in China. We compare distances from one town to the next. Maybe mom and dad want to take the shortest trip this weekend, and so they have to decide whether they want to take a trip from here to Austin or from here to Houston. So they'll look at the mileage and see which one is less than the other and say, okay, well, we're going to Austin instead. So we do comparisons every day with numbers, and we also put them in order, even though we're not thinking, ooh, I need to write them in order from least to greatest. So in order to compare and order numbers, you have to know how to use the symbols correctly, and you also need to look for the similarities until you come across a difference. And you'll have lots of practice with this in class.